Previously on the Reckoning series. Since the installment of the Champions and Challengers League, 187 Crew has shown difficulty trying to stay in the Champions bracket, but they have had no problem beating out teams in the Challengers division. It seems as if they are going back and forth for each event. They finished PSP Riverside taking first in the Challengers division and are coming back up into the Champions division looking to break this trend.
Hey, let's go, man! This is not over!
Step the fuck up or go the fuck home.
They came up to us, we lend out our hand. They spit in your face, this is your promised land. Hey, where did survival go? We saw them pack up their bags and watch the harder body go. We're all dead men here after all. We're all dead men, we're all dead men. We're all dead men here after all. Got time to kill, got time to spare. We're all dead men here after all. We're all dead men here after all. Always here to lend a dying hand.
Coming off of a win at Riverside, I mean, that's obviously a booster for any team. Winning tends to be contagious. So after that event, even though challengers going into champions, I still think that momentum counts. So going into the next event, we really had high hopes.
The Challengers division does a really good job of preparing you just how to play tournaments. And after, that win, we felt very confident as a team that we could go in and beat anybody.
Ready?
Go! Up, down! Up, down! Up, down! And murder!
Yo, I hope everybody's up right now. Let's go.
Let's go.
We're not coming out slow. We're not coming out slow.
We've been known to start slow, but these are long games, and we've learned that. Five to two, still, I mean, it's a long match. And as soon as you start to try and get overly aggressive and you're feeling down, that's when you make that mistake. And 6-2 is really difficult. 5-2 is not that big of a deal. You can come back from that.
A lot of times we're a second half team, which kind of sucks. We let the other team get up points and then we come back. It's happened multiple times. And I feel like it's kind of like the other team thinks they're ahead and maybe they let off a little bit and then we come right back and usually it's a close game, but it sucks that we always have to fight back. If we played it the same way we did at the end of the game, at the start, most of the time we'd be up.
1 point! Yo, Edge.
Yo, let's go, boys. This isn't it. Time to be tired. I need water, paint.
Hey guys, remember we got 2 minutes.
Near side, near side.
Can't be sitting on it.
I think a 3-on-1. I think it was Nick, myself, and Greg. And Nick tried to go bunker Chad and the Snake.
When I made the move to try to bunker out Chad, I thought I was going to get him clean, but I think that he got a little help from my buddy Dan Zaleski, who gave me a few in the back.
I didn't see him coming. I was behind the bunker, and I just ripped Nick up in the spine. So then we were still left with a 2-on-1. It's still like a minute left. And we're like, all right, Greg, we just got to slow it down.
I'm feeling good. I'm far down the D side, and next thing you know, it's me and Dan. It's just me and Dan, and it's on one. It was on Chad George, and he's in 50 Snake, and I'm like, we got this.
I just made a mental mistake, and when I went to go try to run him down, my first 4 steps were out of bounds. I was like, what the hell am I doing? And I was left with a 1-on-1.
Me versus Chad George, I got like 18 seconds last time I checked on the board, and he's right beside the flag, so I knew I couldn't go and grab it. He knew all he had to do was block that flag, and it put me in a really tough position. And I remember after we lost that game, it really fucking sucked, like just straight up.
Ah! Hey, let it fuel you, man. Use that. That's first match. We got 3 more.
I was screaming because I knew how close it was. I knew how close we were to taking that victory. That was the worst loss ever because we fought so hard to come back and it was just too little, too late.
But we have to out of bounds on the snake side. Hey, we have that is simply unacceptable. I'm telling you right now, you cannot start a point with 4 points when you don't have somebody in the box, and you can't give them bodies when you step out of bounds. If you're going to go stab somebody, you stab somebody.
It's the first game, man. You gotta calm down,
no, people don't show up until midnight. They don't walk the field. That out of bounds.
You know, unfortunately, we're a low-budget team, so all my players work for a living, restricted on travel and whatnot, so Dan couldn't get into the event until Thursday night. We pick him up, he gets back to the hotel at 11:30, we play in the morning against Heat, he doesn't have a chance, you know, to walk the fields, see the out-of-bounds line, and, you know, he steps out of bounds by, 3 feet, and that's just unacceptable, and I was pretty pissed.
Dave pours so much of his own everything into the team. I mean, he works really hard to make sure 187 has a chance to win. And I think when he sees it all kind of coming together and then it just like slips away, I think that probably hurts him more than anything else.
We just played the top team, right? Oh, hey, and played incredible. Confident after that. But here's the fucking shit. The mistakes that we made are on fucking us. It really is. We lost that game. Yeah. Anytime. And it was stupid little shit. Hey, let's keep that intensity from last game.
Let's keep it going.
Right.
That last game never ended, boys. Let's go.
Let's go, fellas.
Up down! Up down! Up down! And murder!
Going into the Ironman match, I mean, we knew that even though we lost, we had played a great match. And we usually start slow. So being able to come from behind, it really gave us some good confidence. And none of us were going to that Ironman match not expecting a win.
So the very first point of the match is always huge in paintball. You want to get that first win and really control the tempo of the game. And so it became a 3-on-3, and Paxton jumps over, sort of leapfrogs around Coleman and the snake, and I see this as an opportunity to wrap around the inside of my can, and I end up shooting Mouse out of the snake, which opened up the opportunity to go and just make the move right away before the coaches got a chance to tell Paxton I was coming. So being able to take out those 2 players really just opened up the game. And then right after that, it all fell apart. We couldn't score a point. Nothing we did worked. Everywhere we went, we got shot. Right off the box, out to the corner, didn't matter. They had our number.
I need to talk. If he's going to make that 50V, I need to know. Hey guys, 4-on-2? That's not. Why are we battling?
Okay, well, worry about the next one.
They are not breaking line snake way, so let's stick a gun in the middle goal.
Yeah, this is exact right. We get you.
We usually don't yell at each other too much in the pits, but for whatever reason, we're doing that a lot, so it's kind of like threw me off, threw a couple guys off, getting us organized. So I didn't get all the bodies out. I just didn't call enough people, and I missed something, or I might have called the 5 people we wanted out there, and someone missed it, and I didn't like repeat it. So I just assumed we had the bodies we needed.
No, what are you doing for a line? Hey, timeout! Fucking timeout! Hey, can we get a timeout? It's a little late now. We needed to do it before the 10 seconds. Do we have enough guys?
At like 14, 15 seconds, I had realized that we had 4 seconds to call a timeout, and ran over there, but I think that we should have got that call off earlier.
Someone needs to make a decision right there. It's fucking embarrassing.
That's embarrassing.
Dad's gonna be ripped. What do you mean buzzing? No, if we lose, that's 7 points. You fucked us.
Hey, what'd I say about your attitude? Seriously, dude. Seriously. You know what I mean? You don't want people talking to me like that, right?
No, I also don't want to play 4 bodies
I know,
2 times in a fucking row.
Me neither. Obviously that's retarded, but you know,
It's the coach's job to make sure we have 5 guys on the field, and I know at the time I felt that he was not getting the right information to the right people. It was a salty way to finish your day.
There's nothing worse than bringing a bad energy into the pit, so anytime that kind of happens, I usually am one of the first to jump on it to say, hey, like, this is what's happening, you're not going to change it, there's no need to get upset over it, and we need to kind of keep the team together on this.
Is that a fucking joke?
We felt like we played really good paintball against Heat, and it was hard to grasp why we couldn't bring it into the next match.
2 events ago, could anyone see us like going 1 point with heat and not seeing it anything, and people not seeing it as anything but luck? Like everyone saw that as like, hey, 187 like almost won that game. They didn't see it as like, oh, he was playing shitty that game.
I think we all saw that we're going to overtime.
You know what I mean?
Like we have
everyone fucking believed it.
And if we go into overtime, we're going to win that. I think that's how everyone felt.
Exactly. We can beat Dynasty. Everyone believes that we can beat Russians. Have a good game plan. Just do your job. Know what your part in that game plan is, and just play that part the best you can. Can't be arguing in the pits. I can't stress enough that everyone really wants to win. So there's no reason to bring anyone down. It's all fucking positive, constructive criticism. We're all idiots, so we have to learn it the hard way. So everyone has to learn the mistake the hard way, and then they don't make it again. Like there's a reason, like let's say like Max and I are like no better than Roberts and Pike. We've just had played longer. We know the mistakes not to make. That's really all it is. So everyone's just building past those mistakes. That's how you gotta think about it.
Oh yeah, I agree. Going to bed after losing 6-1, 7-1, whatever it was, it sucks. And you want to wake up and you want to play paintball. And that's just a good feeling to have.
Flags were flying all over the place, and next thing you know, it's 2-2, and we don't know how we got there.
Hell yeah, that motherfucker got shot in the head like a bitch.
I just asked them, they said 1 shot.
No, let's argue that.
That's fucking bull happened. I shot one over the crony and it's 305.
After the whole Tauntauns debacle of people shooting hot, they decided to implement this rule of shooting a ball after you hang the flag. If anyone has a spool gun, they know there's something called ABS. It basically stops your bolt from sticking up when you haven't shot for a minute or so. And I hadn't shot a ball in a while. You shoot that one ball, it's going to be hot no matter what, especially when everyone's riding the line of 300 FPS. If you shoot 305, then you get a major.
Let's go! Hey Greg, you good?
Hell yeah! Hey Nick, are you out of the box?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Nick, you good?
It kind of just looked like people were just running down the field on both teams, and we were just going point for point. It's just penalties being thrown. We had one game we'd have the 50 snake, the next game they'd have the 50 snake. We'd have the 50D, they'd have the 50D, and it just kind of went back and forth just like that.
Yo, honestly, we're doing your in the middle, guys. They'd rather go to overtime with us. They're gonna try to go corners. They're gonna try to go corners. Okay.
Dan.
We had been taking into account how the sun affected the field, and the Russians were on the harder side and we were on the easier side. So we knew that once this point was over, we would be back on the hard side. The game kind of went down with one of their players in the Dorito, and I was like, slow this point down as much as we can. We're not gonna shoot this guy out until 2 minutes. And we were all on the same page. We all knew what had to be done. So we waited it out, and then at the 2-minute mark, went and bunkered him out. That was all by design with the team, and I think that was a huge booster for us to figure that all out all together and then play it exactly how we wanted to.
We fucking win, let's go!
Hey, 50 seconds, far side.
We just knew that we couldn't fuck up. Don't do anything stupid, we had the game won. During a point like that, you just go out and you say, don't get a penalty. That's the only thing that can screw you over. Just don't get a penalty.
1-7?
You go, boys!
Let's fucking do it, let's go! One more fucking game! Nice job, Nick. Guess what's up, man? Fuck yeah, motherfuckers! Hell yeah!
It was a big emotional boost for the team. Finally getting a W like that we needed it. We couldn't keep going, getting these close matches, playing all right.
Being in the Champions Division is a journey. It's not like you just step in and go to the top. So it's nice to have those kind of games that you can have those confidence boosters and be like, okay, we're on the right track. But at the same time, you always have to know that you want to make Sunday, because if you're ever happy with just taking one match out of the event, then you're never going to make Sunday.
If we beat Dynasty here, then we have a chance to move on to Sunday. There's a chance, it's slim, but we have a chance. So we're going to the match pretty fired up.
Dynasty doesn't make mistakes, and sometimes all they have to do is sit in the back and wait for you to make a mistake. I mean, those guys are rock solid. They're one of the best teams in the world. BJ, you know, he's going out there, he's trying to go hard, like we're playing Dynasty. He's giving 110%. That extra 10% made his mask come off. Shit happens, we lost the point, come out next, fired up.
I feel like whenever we play Dynasty, they always know how to grind down points. It feels like you're right there. It feels like you're so close to winning. Like every single point is 3-1, but you don't feel like the match goes that way because they grind down points so well.
Obviously at this point, we had beaten the Russians only. It was our last game of the tournament. We wanted to go 2-2. And you know, we kind of had to push, and I think I had heard someone tell Alex to stay on the wire in me in the 50 snake. And so I kind of took a risk. You know, I snapped down the wire quick. It was a totally lucky shot, but I think he had like not really realized it had hit him in the elbow, and so we got a major on that.
Bald Eagle boys! The spirit animals are with us!
So Dalton was the last one in the Dorito. I was in the X, and he was the last guy that we needed to get out. He tried to come out of his bunker, and I ended up shooting him, and he did not end up shooting me, but I had rub on my elbow from the X. And everyone thought, including all the Dynasty guys, that I was playing on.
Hey, on his elbow! On his elbow! I shot him on his elbow, huh? On his elbow!
I knew that I didn't get shot, so I went and got the flag and then hung it. And I wouldn't have done that if I got shot. Frazier comes out of the box because he's in the box, and he's arguing with the refs saying I have an elbow hit, and the refs are saying no, that's not a hit, he's clean. So we're standing at the box arguing for a little while, and then finally they're like, all right, no, it's a clean hang, now shoot your gun over the chrono. And I'm like, hey, it's gonna be hot because we've been just standing there here in the hot sun. And they're like, no, one ball. And Frazier's standing right there saying, yeah, one ball. So, I mean, shot over the chronograph, lo and behold, shoots 315. And I'm like, come on, just let me shoot another one, you know, like just let me shoot another one. Obviously, it's a spool valve gun. It's gonna be hot. We talked about this. They're like, nope, major.
You still got that, baby. No, John. Play forward. They got 20 seconds on the box. We got a minute. That's it. Fucking go.
He's got a hot gun, so we get a dirty hang. So not only do we not get the point and tie it up 3-3, now Nick's in the box, and then it's just a matter of Dynasty doing what they do and putting their experience to work and just closing the door on us.
We weren't like mentally beat. They've just been in that position that much longer than us, and they know how to stay calm. So we're worried about, you know, this penalty. Now we got 4, we should have won a point, but they're just thinking we just got given a gift and now we're gonna take it. It's like we're in two different positions. We're worried about what just happened, and they're worried about what's going to happen. I'm not saying it as like, oh, you know, we should have won that match because they were beating us. But the fact that we went out and we lost that point really took away our momentum.
Everybody's got to keep their heads up, man. If we clean this shit up for tomorrow, we can play our best paintball still.
Yep.
I still think everyone's clicking on all cylinders. We're just, mentally, we're not there.
Relegation has been a familiar feeling with this team. It is not a fun place to be at all, and I think every tournament we've played in relegation.
We're always in relegation. We hate it. Hate it a lot.
Everybody was unhappy to be in that position again. We're pretty sick of playing relegation games. That's where the mentality was at.
First point, I thought I had an opening to bunker out the X guy and had no idea that there was a guy in the 50 Dorito. So I took a shot in the hopper, took 2 extra steps, didn't shoot the X guy, but because I took those 2 steps forward, you know, I got a major for it, and it cost the team.
Fucking sorry, dude. You got me like right beforehand.
Yep. Yeah, you earlier. Yeah.
No, it was like right before.
Figure out, we got 1 minute.
Hey, what are we doing for this 4 and 5?
You got Eddie on your side, and you have Max.
They're a very good team. We had a tough match against them in Riverside. Start of the game was a disaster. Nick got a major the first point. I got a major the second point, so Nick and I look at each other in the box like, here we go again.
Who else is in the box?
Dan. Nick and Dan.
For a major?
Yep. 2 majors.
Oh my fucking God.
We got 9 seconds, 9 and 51 on the penalties.
Hey, we're down 3-0. We're down 3-0. We're getting a body soon. Not a big deal, guys.
Whenever I see our team down, I always feel like I know that I need to step up. If there's 2 guys in the box, you got to make something happen. We're down 3-1. It ends up being a really long point. I see an opportunity and run down somebody, and then I turn around and see another guy that I didn't know was there, and I just popped him. It definitely could have been a lot worse. Did not like being in the relegation. There was nothing that we liked about being in that position. We're playing a team that's looking forward to that match, and we're kind of like, fuck, we're here again. And we're getting penalties, we're down points. Everybody's like, can we even come back?
Boys, it's time to step up, let's go! Come on, boys, this game isn't gone. Dude, we got so much time.
We realized that now is the time. If we lose another point, we probably can't win this game. But at the same time, there's 7 minutes left, you know, and you can't panic. You got to go out there, you got to play calm, you got to play smart, you got to pick your people up and you got to shoot them.
Hey guys, you got 3 minutes to win 2 points.
Anything out of that?
We knew we had to win, we knew we had to win fast. And so when Dan hit the snake, he made it all the way to the 50, but so did Carl. So when they got there, they traded out. I ended up filling into the snake, and nobody really wanted to give me a gunfight, so I had to go and find one. I ended up getting clipped on my way through, and yeah, we ended up losing the game. I puked. I put my barrel in the dirt, and then the lunch came with it.
So that makes it every event this season where we get into champions and then we get put back into challengers.
It sucks. Every time you go, we've been into relegation every time. It's up to the World Cup since they started initiating it, and every time it sucks. You play early in the morning. You have to win in order to not be the worst team, and we've lost every single time we've gone down there, so it's a terrible feeling, and we don't want to do it again.
So I mean, during the off season, I'm hanging out with the 187 guys. You know, they're my friends, and wasn't really thinking of anything but 187 stuff. I ended up getting a call from Dave Baines like right at the end of the season, and he was like, "Hey, I have a really good opportunity for you to play for Impact," and I'm like, no thanks, not feeling it. Like, gonna play with my friends, that's cool. And he's like, this isn't something you should pass up, you know, it's the opportunity for you to play here, here, and here, and whatever. And I'm like, no, thanks. And he's like, well, think it over.
I get a call from Nick Laval, and he says, Dave, this is the hardest decision I've ever had to make. You know, Bart called me up and offered me an opportunity to play paintball around the world. You know, and I told Nick, and these kids are all my family. You know, I told Nick he'd be a fool not to go. He's gonna get to, you know, he's a young kid, he's 23, 24 years old. He's gonna travel the world, not the country, the world, playing paintball. Who wouldn't want to do that? You know, and he called every one of his teammates.
Dave has the right to be emotional. He has seen Nick, God, I mean, him and Nick have been together since like 2006. It's like Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. I mean, it really is. So he has the right to be emotional because it's like one of his kids leaving him.
Nick's been around forever. He's he came early on when 187 crew just started. He grew into a leader of the team, and he's been like a rock for us.
I get a call from Nick, and he's going to Impact. I said, well, are they paying you well? He was like, yeah, they're paying me well. I was like, all right, man, do your thing. I'll see you in a couple years. None of us blame him for that. I mean, he's all of our friends. He's a very close personal friend of mine, and I wanted the best for him. This is a great opportunity for him.
Here's my decision, like, what should I do? And then every single one of them was like, hey man, like, you'd be an idiot if you passed that up.
At the end of the day, he took that opportunity, and we lost, you know, a pretty valuable player, you know, and a valuable person to the team. His teammates rely on him, you know, very heavily, not only on the field but off the field for leadership, for game planning, for, you know, just simple organizational skills. You know, Nick's a full package. He brings everything to the table, and you know, that hurt. But at the same time, the team now had that opportunity where everybody had to step up, right? Everybody's got to perform. Everybody's got to be better. And we'll see what happens in Dallas.
So we lost Nick, and we knew we needed to fill a little void, maybe a little center aggressive and a more experienced player.
Get him out! Get him out! Get him out!
We always knew Thomas was around the field. He was a good player. He spun the Hurricanes. So we asked him to come out a couple times, and it's like riding a bike for him. He picked up a gun and he was shooting us, and he got a job.
I'm super competitive, and like one of the biggest reasons I wanted to come back is because like I felt like I had unfinished business. Like I've never won a pro tournament. I've taken about 10 second places, and it's like I'm always so close. I've won semi-pro, I've won every other division, but like you gotta win at the top level.
Yes, we get the point, guys. Come on, right now, guys. Don't fucking let up.
It's a great opportunity for us to step up as a team because when you lose your leader, that's a critical point. And we all wanted to show that we could all step up and as a team take the next step, get back into champions. We wanted to make a statement that we were just as good as we were with Nick. And we went into those prelims smashing people.
The Challengers division, it's not that the teams are any worse at paintball, but the experience level in the Challengers division is substantially less. So now that we have, a few years under our belt, you can feel the difference. We had to prove that this was not the place we belonged in. We want out and we don't want to go back.
Every event we switch off, and we always feel very confident in the Challengers team because honestly it's a very different division. The quality of teams are not the same as champions. It's just completely different. We always feel very confident that we should be going 4-0 every time we play in Challengers in the prelims.
We want to make a point that there's 9 players on this team, and Nick leaving wasn't going to have an effect on whether we placed or not. I mean, some teams gave us a little bit of a challenge, but in the end, we went 4-0 like we usually do.
Game over, guys. Hey, way to play.
The semifinals are crazy because if you win, you're in the finals, but if you're not, you don't even get back into champions. So that win is so important.
Hey, let's go, boys! Get the fuck up, motherfuckers! Let's go! Come on! Right here, boys! Let's go! Hey, fuck them up, all right? Team on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Called a play to go to the X. We ended up shooting a Y guy off the break. The thing that I didn't know, we lost 2 guys immediately off the break. So I was up there figuring, we're 5-on-4. I went up, blocked myself out from the pin, shot the big tower there, and shot the cam behind it, and went around and traded with the pin. Sometimes when you're out there, you can get a little luck on your side.
Thomas set the tone, ran down, bunkered like 3 guys. It's me and Greg left. We had a 2-on-1 advantage. And at that point, you don't do anything. You wait for that guy to make a mistake. So don't die, keep him contained, and eventually you win. And we did.
Oh yeah, good shit, man. Never lose, man. Never lose. Hey, let's go.
Max, you good?
Hey, 0-0. Hey, go ahead.
We started off the match on fire. We came out with intensity. We went up 2-0, and then we decided to revert back to our ways and wanted to stay in the box.
I got shot in my squeegee, in my squeegee pocket when a squeegee was in there, and it hit me in the squeegee, so I didn't feel it, but it was quite an obvious hit, so the penalty I got was very deserved.
Hey, I got a penalty.
Yep, we got it.
Yeah, there's no way I can have that.
Guys, this is when the momentum shifts, all right? They're up a body, we fucking fight back, and that's the fucking ball game, all right?
So we were playing 4-on-5. I basically told everyone I thought it was a great opportunity to steal the momentum, come out, win a 4-on-5, hopefully burn off the penalty. And then it didn't exactly work out as planned. We burnt off the penalty, but I actually got another penalty, so it ended up it didn't work out.
Hey, Derula, number 3's in the box. Derula, you're in the box.
We get penalties at the worst times. We go up 2, we go down 3 because of penalties. We just have to stay 5-on-5.
Play like fucking we know how to play. We got this shit. Let's go up there.
Listen, we were smashing these guys 5-on-5. We can still go out and win these points. Like, we don't have to go out and expect to lose these points. Always the goal is to at least get your guy to the box, regardless if you win or lose. So the next point, you're even.
Yeah, we're 5-on-5 now. Come on, let's bring this shit back, dude. We haven't lost a 5-on-5 point yet.
The penalty that they got when we were finally back 5-on-5, it opened a floodgate. I felt as soon as we saw an opportunity, everyone just chomping at the bit to go back out there.
This is our turn. We run that score up right now.
It didn't make a difference to us. We were down 2 points. We saw them get a penalty, and we knew we were going to put it on them.
Hey, we're back. Hey, we fucking 0-0.
Let's go, boys! Keep this shit going!
VCK is always a strong team. We have tons of respect for those guys. It's always going to be a battle with them.
Yo, I should not have shot D-Way. I should not have shot D-Way.
It doesn't matter what you think you should have done. We're just listening.
Dude, I'm just...
Knowles told me, you know, if I see something, you know, come up and tell him, help him out.
And all I was trying to say was, it doesn't matter what you agree with or not. Knowles calling the shots. I wish I said it that calmly. I didn't. We started yelling at each other a little bit.
He thought I was just being an asshole, but it's just the way I talk, especially in the middle of a game.
Stop. I'm just... That was a shot play.
The way he speaks is like full of energy, like loud, crazy and stuff. We're not used to that, so sometimes we take it as he's just like yelling and upset and angry at us when really he's like, that's just how he makes a point. We're not used to having him in the pits like that, and we were fine after that.
We need to focus up on the snake guy and shoot him. All right. That's how we want points.
Got it. Yep. Yes, sir.
Dude, come on. I'm not trying to...
No. Yeah, hey, we're good.
We saw them get a major penalty. At this point, it's late in the match. There's not a lot of time left. It was a huge momentum boost to everybody.
Hey, we're the better team! Let's go, Upton! Let's go!
Come on. I hope
Meet both corners also. Oh, come on. Yeah, there you go, right in your pack.
I want to be out there. Like, I wanted to be out there for that point. You know, that was possibly going to be the point to seal the deal. This is the way anybody feels when they're contributing, like if they're not on the field. I was nervous going into it, but like I think immediately we got a G and it folded out that we just smashed them that last point, so it was just exciting. You're like, yes, we completed the goal. We're going on to the Champions Division.
Yes! Yes! Back in the show, let's go!
Hey, good shit.
Now we play for first! Now we play for first!
That is one of the biggest reliefs, at least in my paintball career, is fighting your way like a tournament in the Challengers and making it to the top 2, because you know your first goal for the tournament is accomplished. You're going back up, and that should be everybody's goal in Challengers, to make it back up.
You know, the boys showed up to play. I've known the VCK guys for a long time. They're a great organization, great group of ballers, and they fought real hard and gave us a good game, but you know, we were able to put them down and move on and get a chance to face Art Chaos in the finals.
Fighting battle, boys. Let's do this. Up down! Up down! Up down! And murder!
Still the same old 187. Back in Champions, need one more match, walk away with the first place.
We got this shit.
We are the first team these guys have seen. They're not afraid of them this event. Okay? Let's fucking punch them in the face right the first fucking game.
Let's get it up! Come on! Let's go! Come on!
There's a lot of hype about our Chaos going into that match, but we've played the Russians before multiple times. We played them on heat. I wanted to let it known that we were going to be the team to bring them down.
We came at them knowing like we can beat these guys. We just have to stay consistent with our game plan and not get penalties. As long as we don't get penalties, we'll be fine.
Hey, get him out!
Dude, we got this fucking show like that. Hey,
1 minute near side.
don't fucking be afraid of these guys when you get out there.
1 minute near side. Dan, Greg, drill, Eddie, Max.
That was a really fun field because once you get to the 50 and you wrap around, if they don't know where you are, you start shooting heads. He was oblivious to where I was, and I just wrapped around and was gunning him down. It's a lot of fun.
The game broke down really fast. It was me and Max left on the snake side. They had 2 guys left on the Dorito side. I was in the snake corner. I think I lucked out a shot on the 50D, so it was a 2-on-1. And I went to the X, and the guy in the tower tried to fill across, and I caught him, but he smoked me in the face. He hit me like 3 times, so I ate a lot of pain on that one.
Be hungry.
Hey, was there a D2 guy?
No, it was D1.
Hey, 1 point at a time. Still 0-0. 1 point at a time. 1 minute.
You know, just like when you're down, you got to keep a cool head. You can't let the fact that you're up a couple points change the way you play. I always just try to tell people, hey, take it 1 point at a time, concentrate, communicate. Don't try and get antsy just because we're up a couple. It's a long match.
You can never let off against the Russians. They will come back. They've been down points, they've been up points. We knew that it was going to be a battle to the end if we want to win that match.
Hey, they can Snorlax this bitch all day. Yep. We were in pretty good positions to lock down the field, and it was a 3-on-3. We managed to lock the field down for a long time. Eventually, they busted through the 50 snake into our snake 2. It was somewhere in that area of the field. At which point, I decided that with the paintballs in my loader, I was gonna go shoot this guy. And I got torched. I kept going and tripped over the flagpole. But as this happened, Max saw me making the move, managed to shoot that guy, bringing it down to a 2-on-2. We got back to the pits and everybody congratulated me on a move well made.
I see Eddie take off to go to the snake guy. He misses him. It's a terrible move. So Max and I are left, and I hear our Dorito tower. And so I only have like 5 balls, and I come around and try to shoot him. But low pain situation, they ended up tying up the game 2-10.
Get ready right now.
We got time.
Hey, it's 2-2. Tie game, guys. 0-0. 0-0.
Buddy. Come on, let's go, guys! Get the fuck up! We won 2-0, gave up 3 points, let's fucking go!
1 minute near side.
Go!
1 minute,
Come on!
guys.
Thomas does not hesitate to get us worked up when things are going bad.
Fight! Fight!
I saw them, floating around trying to make some interesting shots and felt that I had 1 or 2 of those to pull out as well. And stepping off the bunker, actually, a paintball came and hit my bunker, bounced right into me. I got back to the pit and Noel let me know that I messed that one up.
The second we got into the 50s, it was a 3-on-2. It was me, Max, and I had Dan right behind me. We had all the positions. I was just like, hey, just wait it out. Don't make a mistake. We have this point 1.
I knew that their Dorito side can was cutting me off from going up the field. And there was this guy on the side of the field, and I was like, hey, tell me when the can's off me. And he was like, okay, the can's off you. So I ran down the snake side. Now I'm like the 50 snake, and they don't know where I am. And I just get a little bit antsy. I try to run a guy down. I stopped when I got shot. That's not what the ref saw. Ref saw me play on. Throws a penalty, and as I'm walking off the field a little bit later, he's pulling Greg off for my penalty. It was bad.
I find myself in a big Dorito after the penalty is pulled in a 1-on-1. And Mishka comes out, I don't know, like this big. The Russian training regimen, great snappers. Shot me right in the face, I think 2-3 times. That's all I gotta say about that.
This could be the other way right now. We gave away 2 fucking points. We gave away 2
Get it back.
This could be the other way. So let's fucking...
Are we calling a timeout?
Let's go.
Let's play.
Boys, whatever fucking happens in these next 3 minutes, just know that you fucking put everything into it.
Let's go.
Man.
Let's fucking
everything
get these points back.
Dude, let's fucking try some crazy shit. Let's throw these motherfuckers off. Let's try some shit.
We can get off the break.
1 point at a time, guys. Down 5-2 with 4 minutes in the match, you are still in the match. You have to believe you're still in the match, or you're out of the match.
Tough spot with that 3-point spread, but Like, I hadn't really played up the middle at all, but I felt pretty confident kind of watching people, and so I asked Noah to let me go to the X. And I mean, the timing ended up lucking out perfectly. And right when I got in there, I wrapped on the D side, and I pretty much caught 3 guys. And then I went into their Aztec, and I think I got another kill or 2, and then someone shot the last guy behind me. So we ended up lucking out and getting another point, but we were still down 2 points.
I shot all of them, dude. I wrapped in and crushed them. There you go, Jewel. Hey, this game is not fucking over.
That's 2 more coming off, so 2 players right now on 5 strong with Ard Chaos. He's gonna see this. Here comes a major penalty. That's a red flag of death.
That sucks. Yo, just blow it.
They have everybody shooting.
No, what are you doing? No, what are you doing? Blow the horn, bro. Breaks out. Breaks out now? Yeah, make sure it breaks out. That's all. That's why I was asking what you were doing. They have everybody shooting B1. 2 minutes, 3 points. And we got 4 guys yet because we got another penalty. You want Hollywood on it? Fuck! Yo, Dan! 3 points, 2 minutes.
The good thing is we get a lot of experience playing penalty points. Bad thing is it is one of our biggest flaws. We get way too many penalties.
It sucked because we really wanted to bring them down because there was so much hype about them. But a penalty, you know, paintball matches go either way. And I mean, we got a penalty and they just knew how to play against it the same way that we knew how to play against a penalty point against VCK.
Hey, they didn't outplay us. We gave them a lot of points we didn't deserve to give them. Yep. Hey, fucking lucky for that.
The wheels on the bus fell off, right? We started getting penalty after penalty, and they're a quality team, well coached, well organized, and they took advantage of the penalties. And with a guy in the box or 2 guys in the box, they put a lot of points on the board and just shut us down. You know, at the same time, we had a great first event for the season. We came out and pretty much did what we wanted to do, which was, you know, goal number 1, get back into the champions bracket. You know, goal number 2 was to win. We didn't complete that, but we're going to go into MAO and we're going to prove that we belong in the champions bracket.
That first and second match is nice, but you don't always have to win to go home kind of satisfied.
Going into MAO, we had a different attitude. You know, we're not really rookies anymore. We're kind of over the sophomore slump, and we're super psyched to play X Factor in the first match. They're reigning World Cup champions. You know, they're a good team. We've played them before. We've beaten them. We know we can beat them. We just got to play our A game.
We played this out 1,000,000 times. Just don't fucking overthink
Dude, this is the time to fucking show up. Let's all show up and fucking have a game. Let's go out and fucking win this first game. Get your fuckers, get everyone.
Let's start the shit off strong. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Woo! Hey, team on 3. 1, 2, 3, 2!
So we wanted to come out hot the first point, and then I remember thinking that the field would play slow, and it was like 30 seconds into the game before I knew I was looking D-side, and Cole made a good move up the middle and ended up smoking me.
First point, we go out there, and all of a sudden Colt's on our side of the field. Everything happened real fast, and I got kind of startled by a guy on our side of the field, and I got shot.
He's a 1-on-3, and anytime I'm at the situation, I'm ready to win it, you know? And you win a point like that, it boosts everybody up on the team. And it's like, yeah, here we go, let's go. We can turn this around. At that point, I didn't win, but, you know, it's still a long match.
Dallas was a good learning experience, and it helped us build as a team, but Mayo needed to be where we proved to everyone that we deserve to be a champions team, that we need to hang with everyone, and we can't just give up.
So we decided to go snake off break, the third point. The thought process was if I make it in there, I have a very good chance of winning the point because it was very difficult to make it out wide, and we were willing to take that risk. We have shut out 2 of their players, and Grayson, Alex, and Cole are left on their team. And, you know, we're just trying to take it really slow, be methodical about it, and I eventually make my way into the 50 snake, and I'm able to battle with Colt and Alex, eventually snap both of them out. And then Grayson is left in a 4-on-1, and I just happened to clip him when he looked my way.
Let's go, baby!
We were down 2-1, and Dan had an awesome game. He ended up pulling the game out of his ass, basically. That type of stuff boosts the whole team up, just like I was saying before with the 3-on-1. At that point, it's like, come on, it's go time. Let's go win this game.
Just 1 point at a time. The clock's important, but it's more important to make sure we win a point. And I think at that point, we were sending Dan to the corner, and he was making it. So we just kept sending him, but I was surprised that he made it so consistently.
So I saw Billy get into the snake, and I had a minute to get in there, so I dove in the snake, and as soon as I popped up, I ended up getting shot through the crack, and I couldn't tell if it was spray or if I'd gotten a direct hit, and for some reason the ref came over and didn't even question it, wiped it off, and then like 5 seconds later I looked inside and got shot in the face again. So in the end it didn't even work out for me.
We went down 2 bodies that point. We knew it was big, we knew it was a tie game, but you know, this is a field where it was such a dangerous field that you could still lock it down with 3 people. And I think that they got a little bit antsy.
We just had to drag the point out. Billy was kind of moving around in the snake trying to crawl to our end, but the problem is we were just tucked up in our bunkers. So we just knew drag the point out, hope for a kill, and we did. We got that kill, and they had to concede.
We knew we probably shouldn't have won that point. And coming out on top that point fired us up.
Yo, just stay the fuck alive. We're by a point, we're good.
On that field, when you're up a point, you just never stop shooting your guns, don't make mistakes. We were really confident that we could lock it down, and at that time, they were forced to do something about it. We felt like we were in control.
It's our fucking game, let's
So you
go!
go to D1, you look on the inside.
Yep. There you go. Yeah, Greg's right. Look inside first when you get into your bunker.
Guns on. Stay in the pocket and shoot for
Yep,
wide
that's
guy,
fine.
right?
Guys, this is the most important point right here, right?
You're gonna come up.
Let's go, boys. Get pumped up here.
So on this field, once you go up points, you can kind of sit back and, you know, make them come to you. And we were getting out wide spots, so we kind of just kept the noose going a little tighter. Just wouldn't let them breathe.
That's it, baby! Yes, Dan!
They're ready, but they're probably quitting right now.
Yeah, boys! Hey, the boys fucking keep it playing.
Hey, we just made them quit. That's it. They fucking quit right there.
I like when we make people quit. To see X Factor, a team that took first in World Cup last year, basically having to surrender. We were in complete control. They needed point margins, so they couldn't just run down the field. There was nothing they could do about it at that point. That's an awesome feeling.
That fucking proves a lot. Hey, is that the game, or is it gonna buzz down?
But hold on, you gotta wear it to the horn.
We were definitely happy because it was the first Champions event that we were 1-0 right off the bat. And that's a great feeling to have going into the rest of your games, knowing that you already had that one victory and you can only do more after that.
We always struggle coming out hot to tournaments, and this was a big win for us on a field that's very difficult to play, a very slow field which never plays into our strengths. We thought we could go 4-0. Genuinely, we were all extremely confident after that match.
I was playing against Nick, didn't really faze us. You know, we looked at him as just another player on the field. Obviously, you know, we all gave him hugs as we were walking out, said hello. But once he's on the other side of the field, he's an opponent.
We were extremely happy after that win. For us, it was a bit of a relief, and at that time, relief is dangerous because you lose focus.
We gotta take the control back. We have to get these 2 points.
I think our game plan going into that match was skewed by we were able to make it out to the snake corner a lot playing against X Factor, and when we tried to do that against Impact, they were crushing us off the break. So we were pretty much just giving up a kill every point.
We're down 0-3, so I was like, I'm gonna get up to the X real quick. But this was just like a freak ball where it was like, ping, and it like went up and it was like, crack, barely. It like barely even hit me. And I like look over at the ref because I just wanted to wipe the thing right off because I was like, don't count. I just had to walk off and shake my head.
Dude, you guys want to fucking win? Let's go! Show up right now! Hey, they've hit Dan now. How many times?
3 out of 4.
Okay, so 3 out of 4. So we cannot go win.
I went short there.
Doesn't matter. We were fucking up. We're even up, and we get shot out of bunkers, dude. Stop getting shot out of bunkers.
Greg, you're gonna sit this one, all right? Okay. Hey, Max, we need you in the D corner, all right?
It was 4-0, and I think going on the field, I remember Noel saying, Max, you got to do something. And I was like, all right. So I just ran to the corner, ran down the field, and shot everybody I saw. And then it was weird because like all my guys started just like running into Nick's gun. Nick was in the snake. He was the last guy. It was like a 3-on-1.
Oh,
Nick
nice.
Laval. Oh, Nick Laval gets another one.
Wow.
So now it's a 1-on.
So I knew I just had to run across the field as quick as possible because I'm like, these clowns are dying around me.
I was like, fucking Max. Made it all the way to our side.
And then I see Nick's, pack sticking out of the bunker. I was like, click, click. And he just looked at me. I didn't know it was him. And I saw his face and I was like, I got you. Then I realized like, wow, it would have been terrible if you shot all 3 of us.
Focus on winning the point. Don't worry about like the time necessarily. We'll worry about the time later.
Hey, I need
all right? We're trying to get a win.
Usually 7 minutes is a ton. And in any other situation, 4-1, we'd be like, no, this is cool. But this was a field where, especially we knew Impact could lock it down. It's an extremely difficult field to break that. So we knew we had to start taking some risks off the break. They shot us when we took those extra risks and we weren't able to come back from that.
How'd you guys work? Hey, you asked me how many guns around me. I can't even see because there's so much paint.
I know, I'm saying like at that point, man, we're just like killing time. I just wanted to try and attack something,
Yeah.
Where are we going?
Go to the corner.
Corner or snake?
No, corner. We had whatever the terrible miscommunication is. Dan says that he's telling me he's going to destroy, go to the corners, and I guess I wasn't listening to him, and I just assumed, oh, he's making the corner, just getting shot out of the bunker. It's like, well, just don't get shot out of your bunker. And then I basically just kept sending his death, and he thought I was sending him there for a reason, as in like, oh, maybe he pulls the guns that way and then we'll be able to work the inside more, and that was not the case. We just fouled it like completely.
One of our faults early on in our pro days is that we didn't adjust our game plan quick enough, and for Edmonton, we didn't adjust our game plan. We kept sending Dan out wide every point, and every point Dan got shot out. At the end of the day, we didn't make the right adjustments, and I won't say we gave the game to them, because obviously Edmonton's a solid team and they earned the win, but we didn't make it as hard on them as we should have.
I mean, honestly, where we get shot was Dan going to the corner because he kept throwing him in the corner. It was just stupid on all our parts. Do you agree with that? He kept throwing that.
Only the people that made that decision, let's be honest.
I will say, I dove as opposed to my first point, and I learned.
We were cool on our side. The thing is, if you make a mistake in the first 2 points, now you're playing their game. Now you're playing their game, dude.
This is a very hard game to come back from 2 points.
It's hard to come back from anything. Yeah. As soon as you need to do something, you're at a huge disadvantage.
We wanted to go over the X Factor match. We wanted to go over why the Impact match didn't work, what did work from the Impact match, and basically cut that all up and build something that wins for tomorrow.
We played the 2 different styles today that you can play on this field. We played one team that likes to play really aggressively, which is X Factor, and we kicked the shit out of them. Then we played against Impact, who plays the same way all the teams that are wing are playing, and we got fucking our shit pushed.
Well, basically just the way the teams that we're playing.
Yeah, but I disagree we got our shit pushed in. I think we made a couple mistakes.
Yeah, but that's not what it takes on this field. Like this field, that's the match.
And we know that.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I think we should take a look at what the teams did. They're all doing the exact same thing. We know how to play them. We just need to play smarter. We need to play better. We need to get shot out of our bunkers less than them.
I actually watched Dynasty play, and they'd be like, they pretty much were like, fuck the snake. We're never gonna go near there. We're gonna double the can, double the tower, and do something on D side, whether it's gonna be the can up front, the Dorito corner, or that first Dorito. And watching that, I was like, this might be how this field plays out, because those bunkers are so safe and it's so hard to move far on this field. And we didn't implement it that first day, but that night we discussed it a lot, and we've never had to double the can in practice or anything, so we weren't used to that, but we're like, this is how we need to play this field. Like there's several teams that are playing it very like just in the center, just staying alive and playing a very slow game. We need to be just as slow, which is not our style. We're not a fast team, but we're very bad at playing long points, but like we need to play these points now. We have to survive these points and learn how to play a slower game. We have to completely change how we want to play the field, and it has to work.
We feel so good coming into that day, but in the back of our minds, damage kills us every time. So we were like, look man, if we really think we can do it on this field, what better team than to do it against damage?
We practiced them a few times, but they've always, really put it on us. So to go out there the first point, Dalton came through the middle and got a few quick kills. It was a tough way to start the match that I think we knew was going to be an uphill battle.
We had just shot their snake guy out, and sometimes you gotta get sneaky. I got a little sneaky, shot the last guy, tied it at 1. It was pretty cool.
You gotta make less mistakes, especially playing against the top tier teams like Damage, Dynasty, Impact. Those teams make very few mistakes, and if you make one more than them, then you're most likely not gonna win the match.
In practice, we realized pretty early on that if you're in the backfield on the D side and they made 50 snake, you're better off dumping all your pods into that pin bouncing into the 50 snake because it's an amazing bounce shot. And I just sat there, I was like, I know I can shoot this guy. And I put like a pod into the pin and I just saw him get up and I was like, yes, thank you, practice. And then later in that point, Jason Edwards is in the snake and I know he's gonna go through that gap. And I was in the Dorito too, so I'm just sitting there waiting for it, and he goes through it, and I miss him. And I'm like, ugh, are you kidding me? And I was looking, and then his whole body comes right back out of the pin, and I was like, yeah. I just gave him a couple. I was like, thank you. I was feeling fired up for sure, because it was such a long point, and then being able to break it open, just boom, just like that. And everybody in our pit saw it, so it was a big confidence booster.
Dalton went to the X, and I saw him underneath the X. I was in the can on the snake side, and I went to bunker him, and I got shot right when I came around the X, and I just brought my gun up. I ended up running into their can, and I didn't even shoot my gun, and I got a penalty. I didn't even realize it was on me till I was in the pit.
2 here, 1 here. You did.
You got a major, yeah.
I didn't even shoot my gun.
I was very angry when I saw that. So the second driller came to the pits, I wasn't thinking, and I ran onto the field. So the point's still going on.
So Damage gonna win this point to tie it up here at 2, but then I see a yellow flag be thrown by one of the referees. I don't know if that was a pit penalty or what.
I came out yelling at them, and I realized what I did. I just tried to run back into the netting, and they pulled the minor, and I tried to like lie to them. And I was like, no, it's like I hit the buzzer first, and I ran out to like yell. It's like I was angry. I was like, and they knew I was lying. They just screamed back at me, get back in your pits, you got a minor. I was like, oh. It's like, well, I tried. I really fucked up this time. And that's how we came out playing 5-on-3 after that.
We thought, oh man, we're doing really well. Doing really well. Why don't we get a couple penalties and make it a little bit more difficult on ourselves? Even though it was a 3-on-5, we knew that like we needed to burn those penalties off, and this was actually a field where 3-on-5, that's possible.
I got to watch a point from the box. We were down bodies 3-5 right off the horn, and I didn't think it was going to go as long as it did. They managed to pull that one out, and both me and Thomas ended up getting out of the box. Getting away from 2 penalties, being in the box at the same time, only losing 1 point, it's not a win, but it's not a loss.
I ran to the corner, and I got shot in the knee. And I got shot in the knee as I was like diving into my bunker, so I put the knee into the ground. The paint's brittle, I've been diving in mud, I'm soaking wet, I've got a knee pad on. Difficult to feel those. And I look at the ref and he's like, major. It hit me in the knee pad. Maybe it was a major, maybe it wasn't, but these things happen.
So we're down 4-2. We're in a pretty tough situation, and we have to win this point. If we don't win this point, it's absolutely over. There's no chance in us coming back and winning. I think we shot a guy off the break. You know, we evened it up.
So we're down 4-2. There wasn't much time left in the match. I was able to get a blind shot in on Holiday. I was just shooting over this one tall cake. I knew I had to go down. It was my, an opportunity, and I took it. Went down the field. I was able to kill Jacob, and I was able to clear my side.
We're down one with about a minute left, and it's definitely possible for us to win this, and we know it. So we're gonna try to push this as fast as we can because we need to score in under a minute, or they need to get a major. So we're gonna go at them.
I mean, we had just over a minute left. On any other field, that'd be plenty of time. We knew it'd be difficult on this field, but we're right there. We can taste it. Damage is also one of the best teams in the world. So minute left on that field. We knew it'd be difficult. They locked it up, and we weren't able to get it. But that's the best match we've ever had against Damage.
It was very tough losing to them, especially when we felt like we kind of gave the match back to them. But again, it was a good learning experience for us. We kind of built on it, and we know we're able to play with the best.
I will say that when we were playing Damage, everybody felt like we were playing great paintball. We felt like we could have won, and we let it get away.
We had to go 3-1 to make top 4. If we lost to Damage but beat Vicious, we avoided relegation. So we went into that game focused on avoiding relegation, and it was as if that game for us was like a finals game.
187 crew on the left, and it looks like Dan Zaleski is going to get a minor penalty.
I get a whack minor. I think I was hitting one of the pods, and Thomas ends up getting a major. So it's not a great way to start off a match where you need to win.
Dude, I stood right the fuck up.
Dan and Thomas go out and both get penalties. Second point, I go out and I end up getting a major this point.
Uh-oh, there's another red flag.
Major penalty.
So Upton 187 crew, they're going to start this one letting it roll away here.
I didn't feel like it was deserved, so I continued to argue my case on the field, and that's not allowed. So I got another minor. Managed to squeeze 2 penalties into 1 point. Luckily, the minor cleared because they hung the flag.
That's fucking It's only 2 points. It's only 2 points. Guys, we're gonna get
you let Paul play in that fucking D3 for 2 minutes with a hit on.
Hey, it is 2 points.
Hey, no, on your side. Take the minute, formulate the play.
Right,
so when the soccer match come out of the box.
I come out of the box, and I knew I was going to triple that bunker up because that bunker is huge on this field. And we had it locked up, and I knew that I had to sort of sit out the back, so I was just telling Greg, hey, as soon as you can, don't rush it, I'm cool. They just needed to hold it down, get Greg into the Dorito, give me some room.
Vicious is putting 187 on their heels, though 187 does have 4 bodies alive, and they've done a great job of burning this penalty clock out. And another penalty, so step 1 was not achieved by Upton 187 crew. Don't get penalties.
We got 4 penalties and 3 points, trying to set a record. What can you do? We're only down 3-0. And we've gotten 4 penalties. It could be a lot worse than that.
They pulled the penalty.
No, we're out of the box. We're out of the minor. It was a minor.
Yeah, out of the box.
They were crushing us at that point, and they were on our side of the field. I was in the can, in the center of the field, and I saw his shadow on our side of the field. So I just kind of creep around and put one into Nate, and then he sort of looks at me and just turns his gun and goes whack. And I was like, yeah, he spun. I didn't say that, I just sort of pointed at him. The ref was like, you spun? He's like, no, I didn't. And he's like, yes, you did, Major. It was cool. But we couldn't pull that point out. They'd already won, basically.
We're down 4-0. It's kind of a dire situation. We are all very confident with our game plan, so that's all there is to it. We just gotta be confident with our game plan and know that we're gonna shoot these guys out. We don't want to go to relegation. We have to start winning points.
I was just trying to win the point quick because time was so crucial on that field and we were still down points. I just grabbed the flag and ran to go bunker the last guy. He popped the top and just blew me apart in the face, and I just had a mouthful of pain. It sucked.
Oh my God! Dude, my tongue is
We just went out there and we just started playing more aggressive, go up the center. We started to recognize that if we go up the center, we could get wide. Once we were wide on that field, we could just run down.
Scores 4-3. We lose 2 of our guys off the break, and now it's a 5-on-3. There's only 7 minutes left, and with this slow field, we know we have to win this point. So I eventually make my way over to the snake.
Me and Matt were crossed up, and Zaleski was like just trying to do work on the snake side, and we were just shooting them out of their bunkers.
Zaleski's got the ball.
Oh, and he got a shot on Sauceman. Huge shot. And
there takes out
gets
right,
a shot on Bortle.
So Zaleski, there it is.
Zaleski gets it on Sherman, leaving 2 guys on the Dorito side.
You know, we got to a point where it was even, and at that point we were like, all right, we're the ones down points. We got to go get them now. So we started attacking and made the right moves and won the point.
Winning 4 points in a row, that's what momentum's about. You know, once you get on a roll like that, you don't want to stop. You want to keep pushing.
Guys, 1 minute. Just no penalties. We win the point now, or we have 3 minutes point win later. But we have to win this match. Yeah. All right?
We knew that it was all going to come down to what happened off the break. And off the break, we got a couple weasels. We all started talking to each other like, as a general consensus, hey, we can win this. Like Weasel 2 off the break, fine, we're good, let's do it. And what happened was as soon as we started to push, we lost 3 guys like all at once.
There's 26 seconds left.
3 on 2, Nicky, here he goes.
3 on 2, and this is up to...
No, they just dropped 2.
So it's a 1 on 2.
I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go try to win this game. You know, I figured, you know, if I die, we'll still be able to take it in overtime. Somebody else had died that I didn't know about. So I start going up the center, and I ended up getting shot. And I turn around, all 5 guys were dead. And I was like, oh my God. And I'm looking at the clock, there's like 8 seconds. I'm like, please don't notice we're all dead, please. And they noticed we're all dead and went and grabbed the flag. Just watching them run with it, and it's like 7, 6, 5, 4. In like 2 seconds, he hung the flag. It was just like, ah, no! And yeah, it was pretty much the worst way you could lose a game.
Coming back after being down like that, showing what we're made of, going up, tying it, it all just happened so quickly that our guys were dead before our last 2 guys even knew what happened.
Too many teams focus on that last point as being the reason that they lost the match. The reason that we lost the match is because we went down points in the beginning. Off the bat, we need to come out and go up points on the other team. We can't let them go up 3-0.
We got to play for relegation again, and it's depressing. You know, this is our life. We've bounced back and forth for 2 years now, just constantly going between champions and challengers, and proving that we're not strong enough to be in the champions bracket and not weak enough to stay in the challengers bracket. We're literally like in limbo. We're right in the middle. You know, we have the opportunity. We're going to play, you know, Infamous, and they've got our number. They've beaten us several times in the past. We've played them for relegation in previous years, and they've put us down back into the challengers bracket. So, you know, our guys are fired up. For our program to survive another couple of years, we can't continue to bounce back and forth. We have to stay in the champions bracket. We have to prove that we belong.
We knew it was going to be a grind. They had just won Dallas, but we knew this was a strong field for us. We were still going into that match with as much momentum as we've ever had. This was our chance to prove that we can still have the best tournament we've ever had without Nick.
Let's go, motherfuckers. Get the fuck up, all right? Let's not come out fucking slow here. Right? We losing every boy. First point.
We fucking deserve to be in this division. These guys won the last event. Let's fucking put them in relegation. Let's go.
Let's go, motherfuckers.
Let's not be that fucking team.
Up, down, up, down, up, down, and murder!
187 crew still with 5 bodies alive, and here comes the push up the center, but he gets eaten up as Zach Patient was wrapping around D3. The bodies are starting to peel off right now for Upton 187 crew.
Dude, they had D3. Why did you run?
Yo, let's not yell at each other. Come on, man.
Guys. Los Angeles Infamous.
Oh, here goes the penalty as we speak.
Well, at least it's a minor for 187, so 187 crew just got a minor penalty. It looks like.
Sure enough, my guys start out every match down a couple points. and this match is no different. We dropped the first 2 points instantly. We're not giving the points to them. Infamous is beating us.
So we were down 2-0. I had actually saw someone go up to the X underneath. I think I actually lucked out and shot him, but I thought they were in the X, so I actually told Greg to go bunker the X.
They told me to go take out the X, so I went, but when I came around the side, nobody was there.
187 goes and run, bunkers the invisible man.
Well, here's the problem. Greg Lazat thought that center was hot, so maybe he got some bad information.
What are you doing? Jarula told me to go do the X. Jarula and Max go do the X. There is no X.
Sorry, Greg.
So still 4 bodies, and Upton 187 crew slowly starting to spread this field. They played very smart so far in this point here, other than the mental air by Lazat to air bunker the center 50 fortress.
So it was a long point. I ended up running out of paint. Thomas threw me a pod, and it was a terrible throw, and it landed right in the mud, but it kind of got stuck there, so like 20 balls stayed left in the pod. And so I ended up getting some paint out of it, and then we actually both went to the X, and when they tried to get wide, we got the kill and ended up winning the point.
That was stressful. Not gonna lie, that was really stressful.
Nicky's calling out Zaleski and telling him he'll shoot him all day long. And I'm thinking in my head, God, please don't let this happen again.
They made it very well known on the field that they expected to beat us. And that fired us up. I mean, that was like, no, man, they think they can beat us, and that's why they're gonna lose. We're about to come back and win.
So I went to the X, and I actually didn't even realize till afterwards that everyone had been dying behind me.
Uh-oh, is he hit?
Oh no, bad death.
Oh, 2 of them.
Oh my God.
Just like that.
So I think Infamous kind of tried to counterpunch the kills they were getting, and when they tried to move out of the can, I ended up peeling off like 3 kills as they were dying. So we ended up coming back within 1.
Yo, they're straight up talking so much shit right now. Let's fucking stuff it down their throats, guys. Want it.
They're just all talking shit to us the whole game. I'm like, if you want to beat someone, this is the team to beat right now. Let's show who the hell we really are and go out there and let's finish this game and send these guys down.
Yeah. Down 4-2, we still felt very confident with our game plan. We still were just like, we just got to win this point and win another one. We just had to continue to stick with our game plan and be a little faster on it, basically. That's about it. But we can't worry about too many points ahead. We just got to win this one. We'll worry about if we have to do a quick point later. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Good
3 minutes to win it.
Hey, where am I going?
There's an overtime point, guys. 3 minutes to win it.
Where am I going?
To the Aztec again?
Yeah. I might actually rather running gun to the corner, man. They're shooting hard for that Aztec.
Okay, take it.
Running gun to the corner? Yeah. Hey, they're not leaning. No one's leaning right now. Now's the time to take it. Where do you think they'll be shooting for?
Take it. Take it.
On the breakout, looks like Infamous loses a body, but look at this. Zaleski is able to get out wide over here on the snake side of the field.
And no one has done that yet this match. So
we went into that point knowing it was another point that we had to win because we're still down points. And if that time clicks down to 0 or down a point, we're going back down to Challengers Division. So we're treating every point like it's the last one. We shot a wide guy, and we were in control off the break.
Comes a major penalty. Worst case scenario for Infamous.
I love Nicky, but he was talking a little shit, and then he got a major. And I was like, yeah, we can tie this. And then we almost got a dirty hang because Jarula like dove in a huge just pile of paint.
All of the fresh hits on the station went up my whole body. So it looked like I'd gotten shot like 12 times. I was like, fuck. And I turned around in a panic, thinking that I was gonna get a penalty, and thankfully one of the refs on the snake side saw me run in, came over, told everyone else I was clean, and we got the hang.
Far side, got that white guy. Let's go, motherfuckers! Get the fuck up, all right? Go, boys!
All right, let's go with my gun, please.
Hey, guys, we were in the same situation yesterday. Let's not make a
Hey, they took a timeout. They took a timeout. They took a timeout.
Sweet.
So, hey, guys.
When they called that timeout, I was like, they're worried. They're saying, oh shit, we're starting to lose track of this game. They could actually lose this game against a shitty team like us, you know?
A minute and 39 seconds remains here in this match. God, this is so tense here. Brad McCurley, this is a ballsy move right here for Infamous, and it looks like he makes it. That is not an offensive position, that's a defensive spot right there.
We approached the last point like we did Vicious. It's like, if there's an opportunity to win, we'll go for the win. If there's not, go to overtime. And this time it's like, and we have to be sure that we're not gonna get the wrong body counts. As long as we don't lose it, we'll be fine. We're double shooting the D side with the tower.
You think we want to go corner?
Huh?
Do we want to go corner?
Well, let's not give up anything.
Dude, but they just... In the pit, I was kind of thinking about it, and I was like, should we take a risk to the corner? And they expected us to go short. I knew their lane would be inside. I knew I had a chance to do something pretty cool, so I just told Noel, hey man, I'm going to the corner.
I say we risk me.
Yep, okay,
if
go.
we make it, great. If we don't, we can still lock it up with 4 guys.
15 seconds carries.
If we don't, we lock it up with 4 guys.
So
they still have a penalty, remember, they got 10 seconds of penalty.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying.
Okay, so hey, Max is corner, Max is going to D corner, Max is going to D corner. If I die, then we'll still be 4-4, but if I make it, that's a huge advantage for us. So we're pretty much like, all right, whatever. Well, like, they've been shooting more on the inside bunkers.
So I ran a gun to the corner. I shot the tower guy running to the corner and just slid in. I was like, we're gonna win.
At that point, we're in a great position. It's like we have the corner, they're trapped inside. At that point, it's kind of like, all right, we have to win this point now. We have such a huge advantage. We got to go for the win now and not worry about the one-on-ones because we can't blow this opportunity.
I knew I shot that guy in the tower, so I just got low, filled up to the D2, and when I got to the D2, it was a heavy lane on the outside of my bunker. So what ended up happening was I had to back up like 6 or 7 feet, and finally I could see the tower guy, shot the tower guy and immediately took that lane, and then was just shooting all over his knee, and then I was just looking at the clock and I was like, man, I got like a minute. Now's the time. Went up to the D3, shot that guy. One guy in the center, shot him in the can. And at that point, I knew I just had a couple guns on me.
Oh, the bodies are starting to peel off for Infamous. Things are looking really good for Upton. Is Upton going to be able to close this out with enough time?
Brad made a great move into the wing on the snake side. He was doing a good job of shutting down our D side. Damien was shooting our snake side. Thomas was able to run up the middle, shoot out Brad, and then it was a 2 or 3 on 1 against Damien. And I think he got clipped on the top of the hopper, didn't realize it. I think Russ called the penalty on it, and that was it.
Yeah! Sweet point! Yeah, fuckers!
I was losing my mind. I just circled around the X and had my gun in the air, ran over to Dan and just jumped into his arms, and I was like, we fucking did it.
Fuck yeah, motherfuckers! Fuck yeah! That's how we came to fucking play! Yeah, boy! That's what I'm talking about, baby!
I've never been so happy.
So many kills! So many kills! So many kills! I know it's just regulation. Happy birthday, bro. So good.
It was the best win of all of our careers. Sending a team like that down when they've just sent us down bad before, it really showed us that we've grown up a little bit. We've taken a big step.
They proved they belong. You know, that's a game you gotta win. And they won. We've never won a relegation match, right? We you know, our very first pro game, we go up 6-0 on the Russians and they beat us 7-6. We don't have the experience that all the other teams have with the deep pro rosters. And this proved that we belong, right? You know, maybe it's gonna bring me a tough off season, right? Maybe other teams are gonna be looking at more of my players. It is what it is, but we belong.
I think the big thing for us isn't that we were happy that we won that match, because like we were happy that we won that match, but it's 8th place and our guys want to win. So the reason that we're happy after that relegation match is because now we have another opportunity. We're not a challenger team. That's the way that we think about it. So winning that match meant that we get another chance to prove ourselves this year. And that's why we were happy that we won. Not the fact that we took 8th place. 8th place sucks.
Right now! Fucking show up! Let's stay in the fucking candy division! Let's go! I'm all set, bro.
doesn't think you're hot.
Did your mom call me hot?
No, she's not.
She didn't?
She said you're a
She
small
told me
dick.
she thought you were hot, Dan.
And it's not her fault they have a tiny penis.
If it was a live field, I'd pop this thing right off my hand.
Oh, there's a golf ball. Great location. Doing an interview in a driving range.
5. Yeah, the match got tied at 5, and then
Come along, so we felt comfortable even being down.
You got somebody that can actually hit. Worst case scenario, you get hit, I laugh my ass off, and you're in the short bus.
Just moving up that way, and I think they're going for us.
Fuck, man. These balls are hitting close.
You know, had Nikki, night, sucker. See you later. Down to the challenges.
There's like nothing strategically we can do differently.
Like we fucked up early on, and that's
as I say, typically, get a bigger dick.
No, I agree. Yeah.